Hi Darry, it's the evening of Thursday 24th of July and we are just telling you what's happened in our penultimate day, unfortunately, of our English holiday. So we start off the day at Bude, B-U-D-E, in Cornwall. Now, last night we had a lovely dinner on the cliffs and we looked over at the surfers, and we also went to the tidal pool, which is a pool that's filled with seawater, and I think it's filled by virtue of the sea rising, where they must open some sort of gate and the water rushes in and then they block it when it goes down. Anyway, so Agata was very insistent on the idea that she should swim in this pool. Now, I didn't bring my swimming costume nor wetsuit, but she did bring her swimming costume. So we trotted off this morning after leaving the campsite. We parked in a car park and we set off for the tidal pool. And Agata managed quite a few lengths of the pool. I think initially it looked a bit cold, but once she was in, she was fine. So there's a few photographs will be on the blog and so forth. And so that was all very successful. We walked back obviously a different way to the way out and went back to our car. Oh, and by the way, we had a very nice chat with the parking lady who was telling us why we could park in a field, because our car would go over a space, and if we wouldn't want to have to pay for two spaces, we should park into the field. So it was all very nice. People are very nice there, and we left with lots of good happy feelings. So round about the same time as this, we'd been searching the internet for our campsite for Thursday night, and believe it or not, we found a rather appropriate site called the Swiss Farm campsite on the internet, which is in Henley upon Thames, a very posh area around here near London. So the idea is that we're going to do a day's driving, almost non-stop, and we will drive all the way to Henley on Thames, which is effectively what we did. So we set off after Bude. And we tried desperately to get to the M5. Now, the idea was to go A30 M5 M4, but unfortunately getting to the A30 was a bit traumatic for me, again, because the roads were pretty thin in places, and again, when you're driving a 2.3 metre wide vehicle with hard walls on your left and possible cars coming on the right hand side, and your vehicle is actually dead on that white centre line of the road, it's a bit nerve-wracking. Anyway, to cut a long story short, we did eventually arrive on Henley on Thames. We had to ring to say that we might be late because we didn't get here till about 6 or 7 p.m, which is where we are now, where I'm telling you this from. We did have a nice stop for lunch actually, and in a motorway service station. Now, you're allowed to stop in motorway service stations in England for up to 2 hours. And a friend who's got a camper van has made a tip, which is that they do monitor your registration license plates with this ANRS system. So it's no good thinking that you can go into a motorway service station and just park up and stay as long as you like, or even overnight. That's not going to happen. If you stay over 2 hours, you need to pay. And I think that on the Moto something services, there's even a schedule on a PDF file I downloaded with rates for night stays, which is about £20 as well. Which, knowing what we know about campsites, isn't great value. Anyway, just to say that we had a lovely lunch there. We stopped off, had some of our ready meals, and then we had a coffee and desserts, and it was all very nice. And it reminded us how much nicer it is to do that than plod into a motorway service station. You've got all your own food, exactly what you want to cook. You can stay for up to 2 hours, and you've got your own self-contained environment. So again, it's a thumbs up for camper van touring or holidaying, and we are going to consider it very seriously for the future. Anyway, back to the fact that we got the end of our journey, which is towards London, Henley on Thames, which is where we are now. We arrived at Swiss Farm campsite. It's all very swish here and posh here. Agata summed it up by saying that at the water filling station and the grey water discharge area, there's a hand sanitizer on a pole which you can squeeze to make sure your hands are cleaned. So that's how posh it is. Anyway, so we parked our camper van very carefully, very perpendicularly, and it's nice and flat here. And then we walked to Henley, and we had a nice dinner by the Thames. We took our own dinner, had wine, and had it by the Thames. So it was all very romantic. So we're back here now, and it's our penultimate day. It's Thursday evening. We're a little bit sad because Friday morning we have to hand back the camper van, and Friday afternoon we're flying. So I'm sorry to say that's it for now, and we'll make another report tomorrow.
Processing.